score and Zeke's big game.
Thank you.
He didn't have no big game.
Yeah,
he said
did.
100. You said 165.
I said they were going to get 165 rushing. They got 163. Next.
Skip Bayless.
Yeah.
You go to church. You said Dak was going to have 165.
We got to get to the question.
No, I want you to look me in my eyes and tell me what you told me.
That's not how I remember it. Skip, were you more impressed with Dak or Kirk Cousins?
Before I answer that question, just allow me to say, how about them Cowboys? How about them, Shannon? You got to give it up. How about them Cowboys? You're a little off.
Yeah.
As usual. You're a little off.
It wasn't for lack of trying.
Yeah, I know. It was a good try, though. I told you, I warned you, you cannot bet on, you cannot trust Kirk Cousins in these games. So this one boiled down to Kirk Cousins threw for 449 yards. But all the key plays were made by Dak Prescott that Kirk Cousins could not make because it boiled down to Dak went 4 for 4 in the red zone. Kirk Cousins went 2 for 5, and it must have just torn you up, especially early in that game.
Yep, it did.
Dak had a QBR, scale of 0 to 100, of 98 on Thursday evening at Jerry World. Kirk Cousins had 88. That's a 10-point swing. Dak was 10 points better, and guess what? Dak Prescott has now assumed the NFL lead in QBR above the great Tom Brady. Just for the record, I just want to throw it out there. Dak Prescott now leading the world in QBR. So, what happened to Kirk Cousins? First possession, go down. Kirk Cousins has it 1st and 10 at the 19. Of course, that's one Dak would have cashed immediately. Cousins goes backwards. Kirk Cousins at the 5, which became 3rd and goal, and he threw wild high on the play that Jordan Reed got banged, got a shoulder banged up on. Remember this play? Mm-hmm. Then turns right around with 1st and goal at the 10, which turns into 3rd and goal. And he badly missed Crowder over in the left flat. Just badly missed him. It's a throw that Dak would have made. Kirk Cousins didn't make that. So that's 4 points plus 4 points left on the table plus the missed field goal. And then they finally scored. You realize Kirk Cousins had only 6 points through 3 quarters against my Dallas defense? That's either pretty great by my defense or pretty awful by Kirk Cousins. But when they finally did score first play of the 4th quarter, they go for the 2-point conversion. Mm-hmm. What happens? Kirk Cousins throws it to Sean Lee, who happens to play for the Dallas Cowboys. So it's an interception that didn't count in the stats, but he threw it on the 2-point conversion. So my point is, meanwhile, Dak Prescott, he goes 1st and goal at the 10, and he hit Terrence Williams, little toe tap right in the corner, touchdown. Dak gets it 1st and goal at the 6, and he runs it into the corner of the end zone for a touchdown. Cash. Then Dak, of course, 3rd and 9 at the 27. This was the killer play for you. 3rd and 9 at the 27. He goes 26 yards to Des Bryant down to the 1-yard line for a little walk-in touchdown, a little gimme touchdown for Ezekiel Elliott. These are cash. These are straight cash homie plays from my man, Dak Prescott. And if the Redskins that you believe in pay straight cash to Kirk Cousins, they are going to rue the day that they give him guaranteed money for the next 4 years. I hope they do because I want to play him for the next 4 years because when the money is on the table, Dak will just rip it right off the table and Kirk Cousins will not. Thank you very much. The question was,
were you more impressed with Dak or Cousins? It's Kirk Cousins. That's not even close.
You're kidding.
Kirk Cousins.
Did you hear a word I just said?
Was 41 of 53, 449, 3 touchdowns. Dak was 17 of 24, 195, a touchdown pass, and a touchdown run. Sometimes we get caught up with the winning team. So the team won, we automatically assume their quarterback played better. Kirk Cousins, and this is as far as me and my researcher, Steve Owens, the one that didn't win the Heisman Trophy.
Yeah, he gives you all your info.
He's the first quarterback since 1950, this is as far as we have time to go back, to throw the ball more than 50 times, complete 75% of his passes without an INT. Now, hold on. Whoa, now, Skip Bayless, he loved to say something about the clutch gene. Last week, Dak Prescott in the 4th quarter was 6 for 6 for 78 yards. That's money. No touchdowns, but that's money, homie. Kirk Cousins was 14 of 16, 150, 3 touchdowns in the 4th quarter. It was too late.
He left too many points. He left 17 points on the table in the first half.
Let me ask you a question.
What?
Was it his fault that they called a wildcat and snapped the ball to the Washington guy? No, that wasn't his fault. My thing, Jay Gruden, If your guy misses a 43-yard field goal, he's been struggling all year. He's not kicking like he kicked last year. Why would you try him out to try a 55-yarder?
Just desperation. You're in trouble.
Skip, it's the first quarter. Stop talking about desperation. You need to be shaming yourself. Sitting up here all smug and cavalier talking about, oh, Dak, he's #1 in QBR.
How do you explain the QBR? Would you please? 98 to 88 for Dak over the guy who had some historical stat. I don't know what a bunch of garbage that is.
I don't know. Look, I told you, Skip, I majored in eligibility. So when it comes to calculating all these numbers and you put this in and you take this out, I don't know. But ain't, and I said ain't with a capital A, ain't nobody going to convince me that a guy that threw for 449 yards and 3 touchdowns played worse than a guy
He didn't make any plays. He didn't cash. He went 2 for 5 in the red zone. That won't get it done. The other guy goes 4 for 4. You lost because the other guy was better. The other guy made all the plays.
What happened is that sometimes for a defense, you have to play your responsibility. And whatever your responsibility is, if your responsibility is to keep contained on your side of the ball, don't try to chase plays down and try to catch a play from the backside, because we saw Kerrigan, and I forget number 94. We saw them get nosy, and they got caught down inside trying to make a play that's not theirs. See, my thing is, if your responsibility is to do this and you make a play, kudos to you. But if that's not your responsibility and you're trying to make a play and you get caught out of position, a la Ezekiel bouncing around the edge for a touchdown, a la Dak bouncing around the edge for a touchdown, a la getting outside, buying time, throwing the ball down the field, that's not your responsibility. As Michael Irvin coined this phrase in 1993 on the sideline, NFL Films, the Patriots take a lot of credit for it and they want to copyright it. But Michael Irvin said, do your job. He said, do your D job. He didn't say just do your job, do your D job. Your job is to make sure you keep outside arm free. You keep contained. You do not let Ezekiel get around the edge for a touchdown. You do not let Dak get around the edge for a touchdown or get outside so he can buy time. So once you start playing out of your assignment, this is what's going to happen. With all that being said, Skip, look, I know how you feel about Kirk Cousins. You think Dak is the greatest thing since the Slinky. He did not.
That's way before my time. I don't even know what Slinky is. I don't even know.
You know what Slinky is. Okay, silly
Is that like
buddy.
the hula hoop?
Okay, Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, okay. I don't know.
If you think for 1 second a guy that missed 12 passes threw the ball, and think about over the last 5 days what he's done.
Hey.
He's thrown for over 800 yards, 5 touchdowns, and no interception.
Up and down he went. Up and down he went. Couldn't get in the end zone. I only care about who gets in the end zone.
Let me tell you
my guy gets in the end zone.
Let me tell you something, Washington. Kirk Cousins right now is like New York real estate. The price isn't coming down. And if I'm him, if they franchise me again, I see you opening day. Because I proved it. You told me to prove. You told me to back up what I did last year. I backed it up with an even better year. Now, if you don't want to come see me on the paper, I'm not signing this contract. I'll see you opening day. Because I'm not going to keep putting myself in harm's way. Because you said, okay, Kirk, we think that was a little fluky. You know, you got hot late. Let's see if you can follow it up. He's following it up with an even better year. So if you want to keep betting, hoping that I get hurt, well, you know what? I'm going to take some of the hurt because I'm not going to play in the preseason. I'll see you opening day. I'll sign that contract then, and let's see how we do. Because at the end, because he's still only going to be 28 years old. So he'll still be in his prime. So, hey, you know what it's going to cost you. You had an opportunity to give him because you could have gave something like a Brock Osweiler deal, $18 million per year. Probably would have taken you a little bit more than 37. Probably take you around 45, 50. The price keeps going up. Skip.
Good.
It's going to be. Skip, it's not coming down.
Good.
Pay
him. Pay the man.
Hey, you know what?
Give him what he wants. Give him every penny.
It's like
Strap yourself to
right now, Skip. It's like an apartment in the Trump building. The price keep going up because he's president. Skip, they got to pay him. You know that. And they need to pay this man.
Shannon Sharp, I'm hoping, God willing, that you and I do this show together for a long time, and I hope that they give him 4 or 5 years of big guaranteed money where they are stuck with Kirk Cousins for the next 5 years, and you're stuck with him. Because game after game, you're going to pick Kirk Cousins to beat my Dallas Cowboys and Dak Prescott, God willing. and you will lose again and again and again. He will always leave you wanting. You'll always be a little bit frustrated.
You're good now, Skip. You're good now because you got all your offensive linemen. You got them tied up. You got two of your two best players on offense. They're under rookie contract.
Yep.
But there will come a time that you'll have to pay them.
Way off.
I
I can't even think that far.
Yeah, oh, yeah, you can.
Because that could be, what, 3 Super Bowls from now?
Oh, you.
Could be. Could be. Who knows?
I wish I had.
This is Michael and Emmett all over again.
Anybody got some? I need some water in this cup.
Here we go. Here we go.
Here we go.
Huh? Yeah, here we go.
The Washington needs to stop playing. I don't really know what else he can do. He's done everything they've asked him to do and more.
Except win big games. But go ahead.
Skip is 6-3. What is it? 6-3-1, 6-4-1 now?
6-4-1.
6-4-1.
Well, that's
stellar. Is that all his fault? I mean, you see, and this is the problem that I have, and I've always had this problem. Quarterbacks get so much of the credit, too much of the credit, and all of the blame when things go wrong. You tell me a man throws for 449 yards with 3 touchdowns, and the defense can't get off the field. And Washington punted one time, this many, slightly above 0, this many, Skip. Let me see. Yeah, this many, and they lose.
And Kirk Cousins failed to score in the red zone this many times. This many.
And Dallas and Washington's D failed to keep the Cowboys out of the red zone this many times.
4 for 4.
This many times.
Yeah, way to go, Dak.
Washington's D.
Yep.
Kirk Cousins outplayed
I know it
that.
tore you up. Could you even eat after the game? What, your stomach too upset?
I wasn't feeling well.
You ate early or late?
I ate late, but I worked out. I trained really hard for an hour and a half before. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to sit back. I'm going to enjoy this. Saw this great game. Detroit pulled out a shocking win. And then
you lost your appetite?
I said, I ain't even hungry.
I mean, look, Kirk Cousins put up great fantasy numbers.
He did.
Way
to go.
I like that.
Pay to make. They need to pay to
They
make.
don't give Lombardi's for fantasy.
Whoa, Joy. Were you even alive when Miami last won the Super Bowl?
Those are facts.
Were you even alive?
No, I wasn't.
Okay, then we'll stop talking about
who?
Joy, when the Dolphins won the Super Bowl. She wasn't even alive, Skip, and she got pom-poms out.
Yeah.
Go.
Why do you have to go for the dagger blow? It's all right. It's all right. I'll forgive you.
Do you remember Flip? What was the mascot name?
Flipper?
What was the
mascot's name is TD.
His name is not TD.
Yes, it is. Does Michigan belong in the college football playoff after Saturday's overtime loss to Ohio State? Skip and Shannon debate